I'm actually genuinely excited about today's topic because we're going to be talking about auction day explained for the vendors. Now we're going to do another episode next week, and that's going to be explained for the buyers.
Okay.
And there couldn't be anyone better in this entirety of the nation to speaking about auction than my mentor and auctioneer Aaron Davis. And you know, if you watch this podcast for a long time, you know that we've been working together for a long time. If you're a new watcher, you know, I've been working with Aaron for 10 years, and we called hundreds and hundreds of auctions. We see the good, the bad, and the ugly. We had issues, we had tears of happiness, tears of sadness, and everything else in between. The moral of the story is that we've got a good recipe, and today we want to talk about, for you as buyers and vendors, what to expect on auction day.
Well, I think the biggest thing you've got to know is your walkaway price. So you've made your hardest decision before the day, and that's that honest conversation with your partner if you've got one, or you're in whatever entity, whoever's on the title, you've got to have that discussion around what your walkaway price is. So when you turn up to the auction, the only pressure there's always a little bit of pressure, and it's a privilege to feel the pressure because you're selling something with hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the only true pressure there is on the agent and on the auctioneer, because you know your numbers. So what to expect on the day is you've got your reserve, you've got your walkaway price, and you're always in charge. A couple of caveats that I would always have, which we do inherently, but some people don't, is no matter what the reserve is, wherever the bidding stops, you still want to maintain control. So if you're lucky enough and the bidding does go above your reserve, you still want to have the decision as the seller, as the vendor, yes, you're prepared to put the property on the market still. Because sometimes, as we've seen, sometimes the strategy is actually to put your reserve up sometimes, if that's the best thing to do. But quite often, gets above the reserve, check with you, I'm still happy to sell, then you're not in charge, the agent and the auctioneer's not in charge, it just comes down to the buyer. Best case scenario. Quite often what happens though is the bidding's going to stop below your reserve, and then the auctioneer's going to come and ask you what you would like to do. The reserve is confidential, so your auctioneer shouldn't disclose the reserve price, but their job, him, he, she, they, their job is to then go and maximize and get the very best number they can from the buyer and come back and say, what would you like to do? Now, in our experience, reserves are fluid. They go up and down at any point in time, and whatever that so foresaid reserve is, for $1,000 less, as we know, people don't put their life on hold. And if it's enough, it's enough. And if it's above the move on price, then put the property on the market, let it sell. And if it's not enough, that's okay. Your auctioneer is then going to pass the property, and effectively they're saying it's not for sale. They're concluding the auction, and then you're going to go to the market with a price immediately after the auction. Then your agent is going to ring all the parties that have been through, going, right, we had the auction, bidding stopped here, or there may not have been bidding, and that's okay as well. Life goes on, work continues, and then we're going to price the property, and if the market likes your price, it's going to hit, doesn't it? Invariably, we do multi-offers straight after the auction.
Yeah. Let me ask a question. You see a lot of in-room auctions.
Yes.
You see a lot of on-site auction.
Yep.
For a vendor watching this, and they might have an agent like myself that I do in-room auctions,
yes,
although we've done on-site as well this year. So you'll have someone else that sort of say that the on-site route is better. What is your opinion around versus room versus on-site? You
auction your vendors around their expectations and what they're comfortable with versus the property. So it's the vendor's decision. There's a lot of things in play around that, but technically when you've got beautiful homes and good streets and the neighborhood is a community that will turn up, then on-site, yes, but they are a lot more work, but we're no strangers to work. Downside of that, bad weather, emergency services I've seen turn up before. So there's a lot of stuff that's out of your control, where in rooms, you're in control of that space. You know, bad weather, parking, you can control that narrative in your words. So there are fors and againsts, but yes.
If you do it in room, of course, these days you can have facilities such online bidding and streaming, which is very...
All of those things.
It's so much that an agent could be able to advise you through it. But let me take it to the start of the day. You're waking up, alarm goes off. If you had any sleep, because, day before auction, it's hard to sleep for some vendors, right?
Yes.
It's a big emotional process, right? And ordeal. So it can be for some anyway. So what do you expect from an agent? Well, you would expect a full update in the morning. I'm talking practical now. You will expect a full update from all different buyers. Is anybody woken up the day as a buyer and pull out or asked any questions? I think information is key on auction day throughout the day, and it's very important you don't just wait for the vendor to arrive on auction night at your office or you arriving at the property. You need to speak to them in the morning, a couple of hours before the auctions as well, because they're going to be tense. They're going to be waiting for news. Whether it's good or bad, they're waiting for news. So sometimes you're not calling to make them a little bit more anxious, I would say.
Well, you do this better than anybody, Diego. So yes, information that's coming through, because as a seller, your anxiety is lifting. Doesn't matter who you are. Like, we can be very cool, calm and relaxed, but when we're selling our properties, yes, our heart rates are going. So information coming to you in the morning is critical, and 10 minutes before the start of the auction, you want to have another debrief with your agent and your auctioneer to go, right, who's here? Are there any last minute surprises? And invariably there are. Because in New Zealand, you do not have to register for an auction. So there's always last minute variations, people asking for changes to contract, and someone's turning up or someone hasn't shown up, and you deserve to know before the auction starts. Foretold, what does it say? No. Forewarned is foretold.
Beautiful. I'm glad that you catch that. And next week we're going to be speaking bias, and I think the following podcast should be around the reserve. But let's decide that along the line. Cut to the chase. Thanks for watching another week.